Chris is author of Player and Handy Tools, and today I have an application for you called Handy SQL Pop Fave EXPB.app. And this application discusses an Explorer browse with a template applied to it, a query template applied to it called Pop Favorite Queries underscore EXPB. You can see that the underscore EXPB stands for Explorer Browse. So this is a Pop Favorite Queries template specifically for the CHT Explorer browse. And what we're going to be discussing today is not all aspects of this, but simply the aspect of the query template that allows you to hide some of these buttons in such a way that the user cannot have full control over the queries. In this particular configuration, the user has full control over the queries. He can add queries, he can clear queries, you can use the query builder to build his or her own queries. You can use the favorites button to select pre-built queries. He or she can add queries and save them and also delete them. And there are of course lots of instances of applications with pre-built queries that allows you where the user shouldn't be messing with the queries, but only applying the queries in a browse or in a report and applying that particular query to a report. Imagine a sales report for a particular state or province between a certain date and time and so on. That could possibly be a pre-built query that you don't want changed. So I'm going to show you how with this query template you can disable some of these controls or hide some of these controls so that the user doesn't have quite the amount of control over or the ability to change and or delete queries that they might normally have. Also, you can manage these queries through the use of a pre-built jumpstart procedure, which you can import into your application, and this helps you manage these queries. Now you can give this procedure to let's say to a manager, give a manager access so she can add queries, delete queries, modify queries, and perhaps not to the junior clerk who actually applies the queries on a day-to-day basis. So that all of that's under your control, and it's not for me to decide whether you should apply one or the other of these settings, but we give you the capability of adjusting your application to suit the situation. So at the moment, the Pop Favorite Queries display control config has all of these buttons unhidden. So let's start by hiding the delete button, the save button, and the query select button. And that gives us the ability to use Query Builder to create a query, and also the clear button. And of course, the Query Builder provides a capability to select pre-built queries as well. So now I've populated these buttons in a specific order so that when I hid them, they appeared adjacent to one another. Now we have just the query clear button and the query builder, in which we can build queries of our own. Company contains ERT, let's say. Is there such a company? No. Company contains KER. There's one. And but we can't save that query, and so you can still apply dynamic queries. If you wanted to disable dynamic queries, you would just simply put a disable on this control so the user couldn't enter a query of their own. That still allows you to select pre-built queries here so that they would simply select one of these friendly descriptions of a pre-built query and apply it to their browse. Remember, these descriptions can be edited here and the query itself can be edited here, and they are applied to a particular view in your application. So each of your each of your procedures has a particular view name that you would apply, and the procedure is the query is presented to the procedure via the view name that you apply to it. Now let's just mess around with this a little bit. We'll go to the display query, display control config, and we'll unhide the select button. This allows us to select queries right from the application interface. If you didn't want them building queries, you would hide the query builder and simply allow the selection button. We've left the query builder button here unhidden, but we could hide that, and this one allows us to select pre-built queries right from the interface. Saves a bit of work here by eliminating the query builder and the pre-selection dialog here. So again, that's totally under your control, and you can use that as you see fit. Now let's allow them to save a query. We'll just unhide the save button. You can of course do these changes in code as well by simply hiding or unhiding any given button on the interface, but we're doing it via template here. So now we have the ability to save. We can save this query, and as soon as we go to save it, it's asking here for a friendly name for this query. The region is USA, and as soon as we enter that, the region is USA is available. So let's clear that. The region is USA. So that's recallable, and it's also manageable here in the region is USA, or we can delete it there as well. So let's do one final one. Unhide that delete button. This allows the user to delete. Remember, the query management dialog or query management browse that I presented doesn't necessarily have to be exposed to everyone. It can be exposed only to a certain level of individual in the company, or a manager, that sort of thing. So now we have the ability to delete queries. Let's apply the one that we just added. The region is USA, and we can delete that. And when we clear, you can see that that's gone now. So that's how you can use this pop favorite queries EXPB. There's a handy marker browse version, and there's a remote procedure, or a remote version for the web available for this too, for a client server across the web. So that's how you would control queries in your application, both from a total user control to a partial user control to no user control other than selecting a query. And again, how that's applied is totally up to you, and how that's used is totally up to you. But we make it pretty easy for you to give more control or give less control as needed in the application. And this of course works in SQL settings. I'm using it here in an SQL setting, but this same template works in a TPS in an ISAM file setting as well. So that's it. We made it in under 9 minutes. We'll stop there and get back to you with another short video in a few days. That's all.